This video is all about the best CRMs for web designers, agencies, and freelancers. If you run a web design business, you should strongly consider a CRM if you aren't currently using one, because they can help you with everything from closing more sales to managing your contacts to really just helping you run a more streamlined, successful, and profitable web design business. Now, over the years, I tried out dozens of different CRMs to see what would be right for our business. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you, first we're going to talk about the features that you want in a CRM for a web design business, and we're also going to be talking about specific CRMs, comparing them, and helping you figure out what's the right CRM for your web design business. So stay tuned because we have a lot of information packed in today's video. We're going to help you pick the right CRM for your web design business. Let's go. So before we dive in, let's just go over the really quick basics so we're all on the same page. What is a CRM? So at its core, a CRM is a piece of software that helps you track and manage your contacts. Now, some CRMs are more sales focused, where they're geared towards helping you manage your deals and getting them through from initial contact to a signed retainer, new client phase. And other CRMs are more customer focused on managing your communications with your clients. And some CRMs are kind of in between. But in essence, a CRM is really a pretty database that it's tailored towards either sales and or customer service. So that's kind of what a CRM is. And as you can kind of get a sense, it's important for a web design business to have, because if you're looking to get more sales and better manage and stay on top of all of your deals, as well as having better customer service, it's important to have a CRM to manage all of that. With my web design business, we tried for a while to get by without a CRM because I didn't know of the free options that were out there, and I also didn't want to pay for a CRM. And I gotta say, once we added a CRM to the mix, things changed drastically. I was originally managing my sales pipeline in Excel and Google Docs spreadsheets, and things can tend to fall through the cracks, and you can miss follow-ups and not really be on top of your prospects and your notes and things like that without a CRM. So once we added the CRM to the mix, it really helped things. We ended up closing a lot more deals and getting a lot more clients than we were before. So I can't strongly recommend it enough. Now, also, before we get into some more of the details, accompanying this video, we have a blog post, and it's all about the best CRMs for web designers, agencies, and freelancers. We've got the link here as well as in the show description, so you can check that out as well. So now I want to talk about the kind of core features that you're going to see in a CRM. There are some features that are common to most every CRM, and some features that are unique to some CRMs in particular, and we're going to talk about those as well. Really, the main features I want to talk about are contact data management, sales pipeline management, adding and managing your sales tasks, keeping notes, assigning sales opportunities to different team members, and tracking and analyzing your results. So let's talk contact data management. I'm just curious, do you know off the top of your head all of your clients' email addresses and phone numbers? Because I didn't. And do you know all the right contact people at your client's company? CRMs help with all of that. CRMs keep track of all the data on all of your contacts and all of your clients. And even more than that, because it can keep track of custom fields, things that are really important for a web design business, such as what are the domain registrar credentials for my client's website if I need to get into that? Where is the DNS for my client's website? When is the domain renewal date? So I can keep tabs on that if the client doesn't have automatic renewal and if they're responsible for it. Things like that can be really important for a web designer to know, and having those fields and having that information in your database can really help you out. And from personal experience, I can say that this information really comes in handy. One other bonus, this is just a personal secret, don't tell anyone. Something that I recommend is keeping track of your client's birthday. Most companies probably don't care about this and don't track this, but if you want to go above and beyond for your client, something like this can help. And so what I would do is towards the end of a month, I would look in the CRM and I'd build a report for who has a birthday next month and when is it. And what I would do is I would then either get cards or send small gifts like chocolates or something like that, or depending on if it was a higher value, bigger client, maybe a gift basket, and I would send that to the client right around their birthday. And it made us look so good because not many businesses are having that personal touch and are doing that for their valuable clients. And so if you do that for your client, especially one who is very valuable to your business, then it's a huge win. It makes you look so good to them. So that's where a CRM can really help you out also. Next, I want to talk about sales pipeline management. And for my web design business, sales management was the main reason that I was looking into a CRM. I needed a way to manage all of my sales leads that I was getting and stay on top of them. This realization hit me when I had a new potential client and it just kind of slipped through the cracks and I forgot to follow up with them in over a week. And by the time I reached out to them saying, hey, just wanted to follow up and see if you have any questions and if you're ready to move forward with the website, they had replied that they had already gone with another company. And that kind of killed me because I was very sure that that client was going to hire us. But for my poor follow-up and not being on top of the client, they would have hired us. So I kind of had that realization thinking, I shouldn't have missed this. I shouldn't have had this fall through the cracks. There must be a piece of software that we could use that will help me close more deals. And CRMs are that. CRMs help you stay on top of your entire sales pipeline. And in terms of software for my web design business, it's been one of the best investments I ever made because I can't think of just how many more deals I was able to close because I had a dashboard telling me, today you need to follow up with this company and this company and this company, because my memory is not the best. I wouldn't have forgotten to follow up with some people if I didn't have it all in front of me in the CRM. And so sales pipelines for CRMs, some CRMs are built specifically for sales and they're great and I like them. And we're going to talk about specific apps later when we're talking about specific CRMs for web designers. But in terms of the feature, how a sales pipeline works in a CRM, basically they're mostly laid out in like Trello-like Kanban boards where you have different stages of the deal. And so your intake stage, your meeting stage, your quoting stage, your follow-up stage, your agreement stage, and the deal being either won or lost in the end. And every time a client gets to a different stage or a potential client gets to a stage, you then set a follow-up and you keep your notes there and you know, all right, I quoted them this much, attached to this card that is this client is their agreement, is the quote I sent them, and you have a reminder that'll hit you in X amount of days to follow up with them. One particular use case you'd have, for example, is if a client tells you, oh, I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks, follow up with me when I get back. Instead of you forgetting about it, you make a note in your CRM and you set a follow-up date in 2 weeks. And this way, once that date hits, you get a notification, your client is back from vacation, you should follow up with them now. And so having all that information in the CRM means you don't have to keep it in your head and not have it anywhere else. So let's talk about adding and managing sales tasks. So sales CRM tools can help you with your daily to-do list of sales-related activities. Like, for example, when I go into the office in the morning, I open my CRM, I could see all of the sales-related activities that I need to do. Who do I need to contact? What stage of the sales pipeline are they in? Once I do each task, then I'll make a note and I'll set another task after that for a follow-up. Either maybe I need to change their stage, moving them from a follow-up to a commit or a follow-up to a one deal. But either way, I keep notes on everything and I keep track of all of my sales-related tasks. And this way, later, I can look back and see, well, how many times did I reach out to this person? Let's say I reached out to them 8 times and they did not respond to me. This is probably a lost deal. Or I reached out to them, I see that I reached out to them via email and phone and they only got back to me when I left them a voicemail, or they only got back to my emails. That'll give me some really good information and insights to know what's the best way to try and contact them. So keeping track of your sales tasks, it's a great thing to have that comes with most every CRM. Next, I want to talk about notes. So before I had a CRM in my web design company, I either had notes in random Word docs or emails or even Post-it notes, and it's not a good way to organize and manage everything, for sure. Also, one problem I saw is that once I sold a service to a client, there sometimes was a disconnect if I was not the person designing the website, because I may have talked with the potential client about the site and we had a back and forth and talked about what they're looking for, but the person on my team designing the site didn't necessarily know all of that. And so having all of my notes in a CRM that I kept records of all the conversations I had with this potential client, if I could share that with a person who's going to be designing the site on my team, they can get up to speed really quick on this client site, knowing what the client's looking for, rather than having to then have a new call with the client and have them repeat everything they said to me to them. Because sometimes there can be a disconnect, especially if you have a sales team that's pretty aggressive to try and get those sales. And sometimes with sales and design, there can be a disconnect, but having all the notes from the sale that you can share with the designer, you can get everybody on the same page much quicker. One feature that I didn't need initially with the CRM, but was great to have once I needed it, was the ability to assign sales opportunities to different team members. So once we went from a team of having one person doing sales to 2 people doing sales, I could distribute the sales opportunities and leads between me and the other salesperson. And so that was great to have, because if you're getting a lot of leads from different sources, whether it's web forms or incoming calls or outbound, you need an effective way to distribute those leads and be fair for everybody. And a CRM can help you assign and then manage those leads. And one other good thing about having a CRM is you can track and analyze and manage all of this data. This was an area that I undervalued at first, because with a small web design agency, I was really making assumptions about what our best marketing channels were and what our conversion rates were and what our average time to closing a deal was. But CRMs can give you meaningful data on all of this. And so with a CRM, you can track, which of your marketing channels are getting you the most leads. What is your overall conversion rate in turning leads into sales? What are your conversion rates for different marketing channels? What are your different team members' conversion rates? Who is selling more on your team? What's your cost per lead with different channels? Things like that. All of this you can get from a CRM, provided that you're keeping track of all of your leads and all of your inbound leads and all of your activities and things like that. This is a really a big wealth of information that can help you better run your web design business, because if you know which of your marketing channels are the most profitable, you can allocate your resources to them appropriately. And one thing that we found that was interesting when we were like looking into the CRM data is that some sales channels may have better conversion rates, but the average deal size may be different among different channels. So, for example, I had a particular referral source that was sending us deals, and they were converting great, and I loved them, but the size of the deal was not as big as deals that I was getting from, let's say, email marketing or inbound content marketing related leads. So having all that information that you can get from your CRM, it's really valuable to have. So beyond this, before we get to specific CRMs, I want to talk about 2 bonus features that are not common to every CRM or most CRMs necessarily, but they are great to have. And so there are things that I think you should consider. The first being email marketing. So most basic CRMs just exist as a database. And some more advanced CRMs have really full-fledged email marketing capabilities, so you could send newsletters and promotional emails and information to your prospects. And so for CRMs that do have email marketing built in, and we're going to talk about one in particular, ActiveCampaign, which I'm a big fan of, you effectively get 2 pieces of software for the price of one. But that being said, though, not all CRMs have great email marketing tools. The next thing is automation sequences. So for a CRM that does have email marketing built in, an automation sequence is a great thing to have because it lets you send a series of emails to your potential client to better nurture them and get them further down the pipeline from being maybe curious about your services to being a full-blown sales lead who is ready to buy. And so with your built-in automation software, you'll draft the sequence of emails saying, I want this email to go out first based on this trigger. So someone subscribes to my email list, then they'll get this intro email, and then a week later, they'll get this follow-up email, and then a series maybe of educational emails followed up with a more sales-oriented email. And this effectively lets you have a bunch of one-to-one conversations between you and a potential sales prospect to try and get them from being curious maybe about your services or just wanting to have subscribed to your email list or see your newsletter to getting them to become a bona fide sales prospect. And the last bonus feature, something that I strongly recommend if you can get it, is an API integration with Zapier. Zapier is basically kind of this piece of software that's like the backbone of the internet. It lets you integrate 2 different unrelated pieces of software that may not naturally have their own built-in integration. So for example, they can let you have like if-then things happen between different pieces of software to let your software talk to each other effectively. So like, for example, if you get an email from your contact form saying, I want to inquire about your services, you can have that email create a new lead in your CRM. If you move a lead, for example, to a different stage, you can have another automation take place such that, for example, I don't know, you'll automatically create an e-signature agreement that'll then send out to that client. There are a lot of different options. Really, they're limitless, and it can be tailored to your workflow and how you run your web design business. But I strongly recommend finding a CRM that has a Zapier integration. So we've talked about features, we've talked about the sales-related features, we talked about the contact and data management features, we've talked about my favorite bonus features like automations, emails, and Zapier integrations. So now let's just straight up talk about specific CRM software and which are the best CRMs for web designers, agencies, and freelancers. So overall, my top pick for the best full-featured CRM for web designers, freelancers, and web design agencies is ActiveCampaign. So it took me a long time actually to find ActiveCampaign. It was a few years ago, and ActiveCampaign didn't have the notoriety and exposure and reputation as it does today. But ActiveCampaign, basically I'd say it's like MailChimp on steroids. It has email marketing, it can send out newsletters, it can do automation sequences, but it also has its own built-in CRM, so you can manage your deal pipeline and get your clients and prospective clients from being a prospective new client all the way through a one deal. And you can manage all of those deals in that pipeline with ActiveCampaign. For me, it kind of checked all the boxes because ActiveCampaign has contact management, it has sales CRM management, it has email marketing, automation sequences, analytics and reporting, integrations through Zapier, and also it has lead scoring, so you can kind of qualify your leads. And what that means is you can basically assign your contacts a value. So if a contact opens this email, they'll get 5 points or whatever you want to assign to them. And you can say that, all right, for whenever a contact gets above 100 points or whatever you want to say, they'll enter this sequence, or I will automatically make them a sales prospect and I'll want to manually reach out to them because they're clearly interested in what it is that we have to say. And maybe they'd be a good sales prospect and be a good client for us. So that was really a nice feature that they have as well. Having the email marketing and all of their email and contact related data tied in with the CRM aspect of it, with the sales pipeline aspect of it, was really killer. And I really love that with ActiveCampaign. Lastly, I want to talk about pricing. So ActiveCampaign has the sales CRM aspect to it, but it also has the email marketing and marketing automation. And that's all for one unified price. You don't have to end up paying 2 different subscriptions for 2 different pieces of software like you would like we were doing before we had ActiveCampaign, when we were paying for both email marketing software and a CRM and then integrating them with Zapier. With ActiveCampaign, it's all in one place, and it's a very reasonable price that you're paying as well for those. Next, I want to talk about a CRM that's specifically built with sales teams in mind, and that we were using for a long time in my web design business, and that's Pipedrive. Pipedrive is very focused at being a CRM for sales, and it really excels at that. If you ever used, I don't know if you've ever used Trello to manage anything in your business, but really it reminded me of Trello, but built like a CRM. So you have your different stages going left to right, from initial contact to contact made, qualified, and so on. You can customize your fields in your pipelines, you can customize all of that, but you also get this amazing wealth of data on your sales, on your team members, on your channels. There's so much that you get with it, and it's super easy to use. I think that was really what struck me the most, is how easy it was to pick up Pipedrive and how easy it was to customize for our needs. If you hate Pipedrive's interface, then there's really nothing I have for you in terms of recommendations, because from what I found, it's the most intuitive and user-friendly one out there. Other things that Pipedrive has contact management, has integration with Zapier, a must-have, as well as it had email integration with your preferred email app. So you can hook in your emails into Pipedrive so you can see all of your sales-related emails by your opportunity. And the last thing is pricing. Last I checked, Pipedrive is about $15 per month per user, which I think is very fair, and it's really probably one of the least expensive CRMs out there. But if you don't have any budget at all for a CRM, then I have a recommendation for you. The best free CRM for web designers, agencies, and freelancers is ZohoCRM. If you need a customizable, really no-frills CRM tool, then I'd say look no further than ZohoCRM. Zoho has a suite of software, and if you're not familiar with Zoho, they have basically a library of different apps for businesses, kind of in the same vein as Google Suite, but it's less well known, I'd say. Zoho CRM has all of the CRM basics, including contact management, the sales CRM, third-party integration with Zapier, and customization so you can tailor it to your needs. Zoho CRM is free for up to 10 users, and they also do have a paid tier that has deeper functionality, but if you are looking for something free and easy, then Zoho CRM is worth checking out. I'd say that those are my top 3 favorite CRMs, ActiveCampaign, Pipedrive, and Zoho CRM, each for different things. Best overall, I'd go with ActiveCampaign. Best sales-focused CRM, I'd say Pipedrive. And best free CRM, I'd say is Zoho CRM. Now, you're probably thinking, well, you didn't mention several other well-known CRMs, things like Salesforce, Hubspot, Infusionsoft, and what gives? Well, I'm going to talk about each of those now and kind of my feelings and opinions on that based on having used them. Let's talk about Salesforce. Salesforce is the big CRM that most people think of when they think of CRMs. But here's the thing, Salesforce is a great CRM for an enterprise level company. If you have, I'd say, more than 20 to 25 people on your web design company in your team who will be using your CRM, then maybe you should consider Salesforce. It's super customizable and it can do anything that you want. But the problem is, to customize Salesforce, you need to hire a Salesforce developer, someone who is going to customize Salesforce to your needs, and it's going to be expensive because Salesforce overall is very expensive. But if you're getting into the realm of having 20 to 25 seats or more, then it should be something that you consider. Because the companies that I know that use Salesforce, all very large companies, they swear by Salesforce. Everyone at the company basically lives in Salesforce, and Salesforce at these companies has been integrated deeply into every working area of the business, and it works for them. But for most web design companies, I think Salesforce just can end up being overkill. The next CRM I want to talk about is HubSpot. I think the best way to describe HubSpot is to call it an ActiveCampaign on steroids. You've probably heard of HubSpot before because they're very good at marketing. HubSpot makes a free CRM called the HubSpot CRM, which as far as free CRMs go, it's fine. But what most people use HubSpot for is the HubSpot platform itself, which is really an overall marketing platform. The CRM aspect is really just one free tool that kind of is meant to lure you into the HubSpot ecosystem of their marketing software. But HubSpot is really meant to be a dashboard of all of your marketing efforts so you can track how all of your marketing is going. Aside from the CRM, they have a very robust email marketing platform. They have marketing automation sequences. They have a way to manage your landing pages, your blog posts. You can even build a full-fledged website within HubSpot. And you can manage your contact forms, and you can manage all of these contacts that you have and get all the data from the different channels so you can see how all of your different marketing efforts are going. Now, with all of that, you may be wondering, well, why don't you like HubSpot? And I have 2 reasons in particular, and some of it's very personal, not like super personal, like no one at HubSpot wronged me personally. First, I think HubSpot does a lot of things fine, but not so many things amazingly well. Like the CRM, for example, I just didn't love. And if what I'm primarily looking for is a CRM, then it wouldn't be where I would go. Also, one thing was HubSpot has a lot of different features, but for a web design business, I wasn't going to be using most of them. I didn't need HubSpot's website creator or blog creator or landing page creator because I would be using my own website building tools to manage my own marketing campaigns. I wouldn't have needed their forms because I'm going to be using Gravity Forms because that's what I was happy using. So I was thinking I didn't need to pay for all of these features, that most of which I just didn't need. The second reason is, to borrow a phrase, HubSpot is wicked expensive. When my agency was looking into HubSpot, we got pricing starting at around $800 per month. Overall, HubSpot wanted us to pay $13,000 for the first year, with paying that all up front before we would even really get into it and have that commitment. And so when I was looking into that, I was like, oh wow, that's way too much. In terms of pricing, it was way beyond anything else that I was looking at any competitors. So that's kind of my opinion about HubSpot. People may disagree with me, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I just thought overall, it wasn't, for the features that you get and the features that we needed, it wasn't worth the cost for us. And beyond that, I just didn't love the CRM. The last CRM I want to talk about is Infusionsoft. It's a lot like HubSpot, and really I don't want to belabor the issue, but my feelings with Infusionsoft are basically identical to my feelings for HubSpot in terms of price and marketing automation features. It's a great platform. It's not cheap. With Infusionsoft, you needed to be onboarded by a consultant, and overall, it was a very expensive proposition. But that being said, Infusionsoft is a complete marketing platform, and it integrates well with third-party apps that you might already be using. And that's just very brief talk about Infusionsoft. Everything that I talked about with HubSpot earlier, I would just apply that to my take on Infusionsoft. And that'll just about wrap us up for the best CRMs for web designers, agencies, and freelancers. So if you run a web design business, I strongly recommend checking out the CRMs we talked about earlier. If you're looking for something very full-featured, check out ActiveCampaign. Not only does it have a CRM, but it also has an email marketing and marketing automation component. If you're looking for something that is just simply a CRM that works well, I recommend checking out Pipedrive. And if you're looking for something free, I would strongly recommend checking out ZohoCRM. So what should you do next after checking out this video? Well, if you're interested in CRMs for your web design business, you're probably also going to be interested in sales for your web design business. We have a lot of recommendations on how to become a more successful web design business in terms of sales, selling bigger clients and managing your sales pipeline and sales process, and more seamlessly onboarding new clients as well. This video is filled with tips that we've gotten kind of over the years in having run a successful design agency. So if you check out that video, you'll be sure to get a lot of really useful information from the front lines of having run a successful design agency. So check that out. Also, if you haven't yet, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. We're Offsprout, and our goal is to help you run a more profitable, successful web design business. And you can also check us out online at offsprout.com. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask us. You can comment below on this video or find us online at offsprout.com.